we got this question, which is a great question. And as I'm sure you know, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give medical advice, but I can tell you what we do. So first off, I always pack a small bag, just like this little floppy thing. Has a small supply of over-the-counter anti-diarrheal medicine, just enough, among other things like antihistamines, cold medicine, etc. Truly just a few pills of each for immediate use in case we can't get to a pharmacy right away. Jed and I have been fortunate to have very few instances of food-related illness in our travels, but that's not to say that our stomachs always feel normal. And it's true that travelers' diarrhea is more common, especially in developing countries. So definitely a good thing to think about. Here's the advice that the CDC gives. Eat only foods that are cooked and served hot. Avoid food that has been sitting on a buffet. Eat raw foods and vegetables only if you have washed them in clean water or peeled them. Only drink beverages from factory sealed containers and avoid ice because it may have been made from unclean water. So here's my approach. If the trip is less than 2 weeks, then getting sick for a couple of days could make an outsized impact. So I'll tend to follow those guidelines more strictly on shorter trips. It also depends on the location. For example, we have spent many months in Vietnam, and we're eating in places that get reviewed on Google and TripAdvisor. And in the rare case of food poisoning in one of these restaurants, it actually makes national news. So all that to say, there's public accountability, and we have a fair amount of trust in the food handling, at least where we usually stay. So we don't avoid fresh fruit or vegetables or uncooked food. I think it'd be really a pity to miss out on the fresh vegetables and herbs in Vietnamese cooking. This is just a regular family meal that our friends in Vietnam make, and this is one of my favorite dishes. You can see the fresh herbs there. But we do avoid food that may have been sitting out for a long time. So whether that's at a buffet or a street food vendor stall, a lot of times, they might be making something fresh, but they also have been pre-making items. And so depending on, are they giving you the pre-made one or are they giving you the fresh one? We'll pay attention to that. We only drink bottled water and we brush our teeth with bottled water just to be safe. But we do tend to trust that any ice we might be served at a restaurant or by a friend is okay. Specifically in Vietnam, just because we've had experience there. In other places, probably be a little more careful. I think keeping your hands clean, obviously, is another big factor. So definitely carry, hand sanitizer and wipes. Use them after you touch the menu before you eat. It's also important to stay hydrated. Jed learned this the hard way when we had a long day of flights. He had some alcohol on the plane, but he didn't drink enough water to go with it. So by the time we landed, it felt a lot like food poisoning to him, but he was actually just dehydrated. So those are my tips, and I hope that helps you a little bit as you travel.